Hello everybody, it's Fern. Welcome to part two. Why do I keep wanting to say tour? To part tour. Part two of my houseplant tour. There we go. Did you like part one? I hope you did. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it for you. You have to go check it out. I show all of the plants in my living space here, living in front of my windows, in my Millsbow wide cabinet. There's a lot to go through. It's 2 hours long, so yeah, it's a massive chunk of my houseplant collection. Trying to edit all the footage together into one video, my poor little laptop. She said nor. I have really been producing more and longer videos than I ever have before, so I really have a need to learn more techniques to really streamline my editing process. I have so much to learn when it comes to my editing software. I use Final Cut Pro, and I really am, even though I've been using it for a few years, I really am just still at such a beginner level. Like, I only know the basic features. So I've been taking a course on Skillshare to learn more of the ins and outs of Final Cut Pro, not only to just make my life easier, but also so that I can continue to push myself creatively and produce content on here to share with you. If you're not familiar with Skillshare, they're the largest online learning community for creatives. They offer thousands of different classes led by industry pros across film, illustration, design, productivity, and more. Skillshare allows us to invest in ourselves and our goals by providing a learning journey so that we can take our skills and careers to the next level. I've personally found a lot of value in the various Skillshare classes that I've taken over the past few years, and even if you're not sure where to start, they make it super easy by offering learning paths. Learning paths are a compilation of classes on a certain topic. They're designed to work together and build upon each other to get you from novice to pro in no time. They're available in a range of different experience levels and a variety of different topics, including learning software like Final Cut Pro, which is the learning path that I'm currently working through right now. If you would like to join me and learn something new for yourself, Skillshare is offering the first 500 people to use the link down below in the description box a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. We're going to pick up where we left off in part one, and that is at my Millsbow tall Ikea cabinet. So let's just jump right over there. All right, so here we have my Millsbow tall cabinet, which is looking so much nicer than the Millsbow wide. So I'm excited to show you what this one looks like inside. But first, we'll just start off with the plants that are on top of here. Right here, we have my Monstera Adansonii. This is just the regular green form. And it's recently been cut back because it was just struggling a bit, mostly due to my underwatering. So we have some like yellowing crispy bits, but that's okay. She started to bounce back. I've just gotten this big healthy leaf on her. Look how pretty. I just love the Adansonii. It has such a beautiful sheen to it. Like, honestly, such an underrated Monstera. I love her, and I will always have one in my collection. This is why I get really excited about the other versions of this as well, like the different variegated types. Another pretty leaf there. Yeah, it's just so stunning, so easy to grow. It's honestly always putting out new leaves for me. I need to repot this into plastic is what I want to do. So that's gonna be on my spring to-do list. I think it's gonna do a lot better in plastic. Honestly, even self-watering would probably be great for this plant. Maybe I should consider that. But yeah, I love the way she looks just sitting on here, and it's not like a super highlight spot. It does get some sun when it's sunny because it's across from the windows here, but it doesn't get a ton of light, and it still gives me just like beautiful growth and these nice big leaves. I think it's been liking being fertilized recently, and that's why it's giving me those nice big leaves. And then next to her, we have another stunning trailing plant. This is my Syndapsis exotica. I recently moved it on top of the cabinet here, so I'm not sure how well it's gonna fare in this type of lighting, but so far so good. Also has this cute little charm on it. But yeah, I think that this is such a pretty Syndapsis. I love the way that the two of these look up here together. I just think that that is such a cute pair. They're both like fairly common plants, but some of my favorites, like I just love them so much. It honestly looks fake. Like the leaves on this, they're so perfect. Of course, love the silver foliage, love how big the leaves get. It grows like a weed. I actually recently trimmed it, so I'll be getting some new growth points soon. But yeah, just a really, really beautiful plant. Okay, I've just turned the fan off, so let's take a look in here. I recently rearranged this cabinet and it's looking really good, if I do say so myself, so I'm really happy with it. I have a whole playlist on this cabinet of all the different configurations and setups and changing the lights out and doing all kinds of things over the past few years that I've had this up and running, if you're interested. Okay, let's just start over here with my Hoya serpents. This plant has pretty much, I think it's always lived in cabinet condition since I've had it, because even though I've had this for years, it is just a small plant. It's never really outgrown the space, so it's always just been able to stay in here, which is kind of nice for him. But yeah, such a cute plant. I love the leaves. They look like little snake heads. That's why it's called. Did I call this philodendron? Oh my gosh, this is Hoya serpents. It's been really happy, always growing for me. In my last place, last winter, it was pretty upset. I think that it didn't appreciate the cold temperatures, but it's warmer in this house, and especially being inside the cabinet. So it's just continued to grow really well for me over the winter time. I would love to get this to bloom one day. I would really love that. But I don't know if that's ever going to be in the cards for me, because it puts out peduncles, but it just never, like, they don't even try to bloom. So I don't know what the trick is with this one, but the foliage is really cute nonetheless, so I'm happy with it. Up here we have my begonia iron cross, which it was struggling for a long time because I left it in sphagnum for way too long, but I recently potted it up, and look at this healthy, cute little leaf that I'm getting right there. Oh my gosh, look at that texture. It is so crazy. Oh man, this thing is so hairy. I love it. It is such a weirdo. It's just living life in there, and I can't wait to see more new leaves come in on it. This one right here is actually a brand new Hoya to my collection from Plant Haven Toronto. I have a lot of Hoya from Plant Haven Toronto, and especially some newer ones that we're going to see later on the Vits Show shelf. I did a whole haul recently. So some of you have seen these, but this is Hoya leucantha, and wow, it has grown so much just in the past couple of weeks since I've had it. It is just absolutely crazy, and the leaves on this are just so stunning. They're so bronzy, and the way that this kind of like cascades, it's just wow, like what a unique and breathtaking Hoya. I'm really excited to have this in my collection. It is so stunning. Underneath or beside that is a sad Alocasia frydek propagation. It does have new growth, so I think it's fine, but that leaf is not too happy. Here is my Hoya Polyneura outer variegated. I recently chopped this up. We saw some of the propagations earlier on the windowsill, but yeah, I repotted this the other day, and I'm just patiently waiting for new growth. Tucked in the back there, I'm gonna have to move this philodendron, but tucked in the back there is my Hoya caudata Sumatra, which I've also had for years, and it's grown like a beast. Like, it's huge. It takes up this whole corner of the cabinet, and then it's growing like attached to the wire grid on the side and all the way across the back. Like, it's really just taken over that whole corner section of the cabinet, and it gives me beautiful foliage, but unfortunately it has never bloomed for me, and I really want Hoya caudata blooms. So I'm always checking to see if there's any peduncles, and there never is. So I don't know what is up with that. It's another one of these Hoyas that it's like big, and I've had it for so long, but it just never ever tries to bloom for me. It is really cute though. Look at the little fuzzy leaves. Yeah, I really like it, so I'm happy with it regardless, but I would just love to get some blooms one day. Cascading right here is my Peperomia prostrata, or my string of turtles. And this is one that I was really struggling with in the past, but it's clearly very happy now. In fact, I probably need to repot it soon, and it's outgrowing this space as well. So I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with this thing, but I'm happy that it's happy. We have tons of little blooms down here, these like funky little things. It's so cute. I love string of turtles. I really wanted to have one, and I was just struggling for so long, but now it's happy, so I'm very thrilled about that. Next to that is just a little Monstera albo prop again. I didn't realize I had so many albos everywhere. Oh, it's starting on a new leaf. How fun. Down here we have a couple of Monstera obliqua Peru babies. This is one that I don't even know if I'm gonna keep in my collection, but I have a whole bunch of babies of it because I chopped up my plant a while ago. Let me know what your thoughts are on this plant currently. Do you still like it? Do you have one? Are you interested in seeing it in my collection? I'm very undecided about it at the minute. It is cool. Like, I love these holy Monsteras, so maybe I will keep it. In the back here, we have my Anthurium King of Spades, which for some reason gave me this giant epic leaf over the winter. I don't know what I did to deserve this. It's just so regal looking. I love it. It needs a wash. It's a bit dusty, but yeah, such a cool Anthurium. Love how round it is. Love how pink the new leaves come in. It is just so stunning. And yeah, I feel really privileged to be growing this one. Another one that I feel really privileged to be growing is my variegated Alocasia dragon scale. I cannot get over just how stunning this is. The dragon scale, like my regular green one, is an OG plant in my collection, and it's just been one of my all-time favorites. So I was so excited to be getting a variegated version of that because it's one of my favorites. It's a classic, and I kind of want every version of it, which is also why I have the silver one down here. I of course had to add that into my collection. Now I just need the Hoya variegated. But yeah, I love it. It came out with this weird, like all like light green leaf. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. It's probably just gonna die off. So I'm just waiting for the next one, and we'll see what it looks like. Back here, I have another Anthurium forgetii. This one's happier than my other one in the other cabinet. It is in a potting mix, but I think just because it's, I don't know. I don't even know why it's happier, to be honest, but it just is. So great. And then we have another little Alocasia down here. This is my Alocasia Mellow, which is a really new one to me. I'm getting my first new leaf on it, which is really exciting. I have a larger Alocasia Maharani, so I was really excited to be getting one of the parents to that one. Love the texture, love the color. It is just so gorgeous. Tucked over here is my Philodendron Gigas, which is one that I recently got back on a pole. This is just a bunch of cuttings, well, 3 cuttings that I've potted up together, so they're still kind of getting their bearings and getting established here. This is another one that I did in that Philodendron video I was talking about. Anyways, one of my favorites because it's just so dark and shiny. Look at that. Like, talk about velvety. My goodness, I love it. Love the shape of it. Love how it like hangs. It's in this little cute pedestal planter, and I'm just so excited to watch this one size up again for me. Oh yeah, and in the back, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a Ficus villosa back there. I actually have had 3 of these, and I was gonna get rid of these props in here, and I'm so glad I didn't because my main one just croaked like a week ago. I had it growing in like this glass tube kind of situation, and it was so cool, and I completely underwatered it by accident. I had no idea that it was like bone dry, so it all shriveled up and died, but it's a really cool like fuzzy leafed ficus. It's so hard to get back here, but yeah, it's really unique, and I'm definitely going to be putting my energy into some of these propagations again so I can grow a nice one. And this philodendron that I took out to move out of the way is my beautiful Philodendron El Guapo, or SP Silver. This is another one that I'm growing back after chopping up my main big mature plant. This has all grown from wet sticks, which is really cool. This is another plant that got thrips, unfortunately, but I'm starting to get, you know, growth again, and I'm sure it's gonna size up in no time. It is such a beautiful plant. It hardens off to this beautiful blue silver kind of color as long as you don't give it too much light and bleach out the leaves. Yeah, it is just, it's so pretty, and I'm so excited to have this back with me and to watch it get really big again. Oh, it's another new leaf trying to unfurl back there too. Wow, yeah, she's been growing like crazy. Okay, so now we're moving down to the lower part of the cabinet, and this is looking really cute as well, if I do say so myself. I especially love my Piper over on this side. Maybe let's start there. This is my Piper crocatum, and I just love that it's so different from a lot of plants in my collection. It is pink and shiny. It almost has like a metallic look to it. It's so unique, and I really love the teardrop kind of shape, similar to the Anthurium forgetii, honestly. So cool, and a pretty tolerant plant as well. Like, I've definitely underwatered this a lot to the point where it starts drooping, but then I water it and it completely perks back up. So yeah, I'm really happy to have this one. I have it kind of clipped to the side there so that it stays upright, and it's also going around a trellis. Love the way it looks. Next to that, we have a Hoya GPS 7240, I think. I always tend to get the numbers mixed up. Maybe it's 4270. This is also known as like the grape Hoya or the olive Hoya because it has these round, chubby leaves. It's super unique. I really like it. Unfortunately, mine came down with some kind of, what I'm assuming was a fungal thing. So I sprayed it down with sulfur, and I ended up just trimming a bunch of it back because I was so worried it was gonna get worse and like I would lose the whole plant. So I trimmed it back, and now I'm just left with this little plant. It used to be quite large. I ended up getting rid of quite a lot of it, which is sad, but I'm sure it'll bounce back, and I'm gonna be so excited when I start to see new growth on this. Another one that's kind of in recovery mode is my Hoya biacensis right here, which doesn't look like much at the minute. It used to be quite big. It was like really long and trailing, and it rotted on me one day. I don't know, it just did that thing that Hoyas do to me sometimes where they just rot out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay, like, bye-bye. So it completely rotted. I threw these cuttings in a prop box. They rooted up, and then I recently repotted this, and I can see healthy roots. So we are all good, but yeah, that was crazy. Right here is one of my new Hoyas that I am in love with. It is my Hoya Silver Lady, and I've barely had this for I've had it only for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it's already given me new growth. This is a new leaf right here. It's still kind of hardening off, but how cute. I think is this a new one too? I think this is a new one too, right there. Yeah, it's so happy, living the cabinet life, so I guess she has no complaints. Still in sphagnum moss, really cool silver Hoya though. It also gets like the purple sun stressing similar to the New Guinea Ghost, as far as I could tell. And yeah, I'm really excited to be growing it out. Right here is my big gal Hoya Hushkliana variegata. I've had this for a few years now, and it has just been one of the most easygoing plants. It is still in just a small 4-inch terracotta pot that it's been in for a long time. I got it from just a tiny little thing, and yeah, it's just grown out like crazy. It's always growing like so fast. It's so cute because the new leaves come in pink. It just has such pretty variegation. Like, oh, it looks like a painting. It is just so cute. Again, my only qualm with this one is that it hasn't bloomed for me, and I've seen a lot of people's who are much smaller than mine bloom for them. So I'm just like, what the heck? Like, come on, give me some flowers. And I know people say that the flowers on this one aren't that special. It's the foliage that is really eye-catching, but I don't care. I still would love for mine to give me those cute little flowers. Right there, clipped on the side, we have another Alocasia odora. I think that this is a different variety from the Batik though. I know that there's like a few different types of variegated Alocasia odora, so don't know for sure what type this one is, but it's really pretty. It has more like sectoral kind of variegation, so I'm so excited to watch it grow out. This is the newest leaf right there. So stunning. And then we have my Hoya parviflora next to that one. This is another one that is new to me. Has cool, splash variety. Has cool, splashy, dark, narrow leaves and really special blooms. I think that they're the light pink fuzzy ones. So really excited for that to hopefully bloom for me one day. Okay, and then in the bottom kind of section, we have another Monstera obliqua. They're just kind of everywhere in here. There's even another one in the back there, but let me pull a couple of these out so we can see in the back better. The Anthurium right there in the back is a Goliath forgetii hybrid, I believe. It's really pretty. It gives some really nice dark leaves like that one back there. It was struggling for a while, but I recently got it repotted and everything, so I think it's gonna start doing better, and I can't wait to see the leaf that it's gonna give me next. I think that it is going to be a nice one, so just kind of keeping an eye on this one. another Anthurium from Cartel Done. Oh, also the King of Spades is from Cartel Done as well. These all came in the same order as little babies. This is a, what is this? Velvet Mask Fort Sherman hybrid, I believe. And it's actually giving me a new leaf right now. This is another one that's been on the struggle bus. It rotted like a long time ago, and then it was propagating in perlite and living in that for quite some time. I recently got it potted up, and now it's giving me this leaf. It looks like it's a little bit damaged, but that's okay. I'm just glad that it's actually potted up now, and I think that it's gonna start doing a lot better. These are two that don't look amazing right now, but I think if I really give them some attention over this year, they're gonna start looking really nice. So we're just watching and waiting for these guys. And then right here is my Alocasia olanii, which is a really unique, like, what's the word? Ruffled edge kind of alocasia, which is what I really like about it. It also has cool back sides with all of the veins. Mine's still quite small. This I struggled with a little bit. It rotted on me when I went away in the fall, and then it was in propagation for a while, and now I've repotted it. We do have some healthy roots, so that's great to see. I'm excited to start getting some healthy growth on this. We actually have a baby leaf that's starting to emerge right now. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what that one is going to be looking like as well. We have a lot to look forward to in this kind of section. And then this little baby cutie right here is actually one of my current favorite Anthurium. This is a Doriaki Red Crystallinum hybrid, and it just gives out the prettiest leaves. This is the last one that came out, so it's still kind of dark. But oh my goodness, like look at that veining. It is so cute. It's just like compact and short and stout, and yeah, I love it so much. Like more than I thought I was going to. It came to me as just like the tiniest little seedling, like basically a seed with like a tiny little leaf on it. So I had no idea what it was really gonna look like, but it's been doing really well for me. We have a leaf that's trying to come out right now, so I can't wait to see that one. It's just one that I've really been loving lately. And then let me put this big gal back in here. This is my Alocasia Frydek, and we have also been on a little bit of a journey together, similar to the green Michelitziana Alocasia. This rotted on me. That's what happened, right? Yeah, this rotted on me. I had to reroot it, and I've recently potted it into pon. And also repotted it. I potted it into pon, and it was, oh my goodness, you guys, this was so root bound. I could not even believe my eyes. I repotted this in a Patreon video where I was going through all of my like semi-hydro pon plants and repotting them and stuff. And I was so shook by the root system on this. I was not expecting it. It was in one of those little square Crystal Star Nursery self-watering pots, and it had just like the whole thing was full of roots. So she is really appreciating her upgrade, I think, and she's put out this new leaf, which is really gorgeous. I love the variegation on it. So marbled. Love the minty sections. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. She seems to be doing well. And yeah, I really like just like the kind of the amount of variegation. I feel like it's a solid amount, you know? It's not too much that the plant is suffering and like croaking on me, but it's enough that it still looks really gorgeous. Okay, now that we made it through this cabinet, I think I'm gonna take a break and have some lunch because my stomach is starting to growl. So I will hop on here after I do that. Okay, I had some food. I am back. Unfortunately, the neighbors are doing some noisy yard work. Hopefully that's not gonna interfere too much. I think that this mic I'm using is actually pretty good at filtering out the background noise because I couldn't really hear too much of the construction in the footage yesterday. But anyways, we are going to move on to the Vitcho shelf here. We just have one little guy in between, which is my Syngonium albo. It's just kind of like a bushy little pot. I do have a bunch of propagations because I trimmed this back. I need to pot those back in. I'm probably gonna have to repot the whole plant. But yeah, I used to grow this as like a climbing plant, but I much prefer it as just like a more compact, lush little pot here. So yeah, that's why I just kind of keep trimming it. I just think that it looks really nice this way. I love this plant. The variegation is so pretty. This I've had for years. It was one of my first like variegated plants, I guess. And yeah, it's just done really well for me ever since. I love how just different each leaf is. Like, it's such a cool one, and grows like an absolute beast as well. Also very, very low maintenance. All I do is water it probably once a month, and it just hangs out here. Does not complain, but keeps continuously growing for me. All right, and then sitting up on the top of my shelf here is another one of my prized babies, and that is my Anthurium pallidiflorum. This beautiful strappy gal right here. I love this Anthurium so much. If you've been on my channel for a little bit, then you would probably know that because I've talked about this plant a lot. I cannot emphasize enough how easygoing this Anthurium is. It's one that I will always recommend because with minimal effort and minimal, like even if you don't have a lot of Anthurium care experience, just minimal effort. I literally treat this the same as like all my philodendrons, everything else. Basically like a pothos is how I treat this plant. And it just continues to grow for me. It looks amazing. And yeah, I just like the payoff is incredible for such minimal effort. Like it's just a stunning, stunning plant. So rewarding to grow. I have to show you guys how big it is with me holding it. So here she is. You're not even gonna be able to see the full thing in the camera, but she is massive. The biggest leaf is 3.5 feet long, I think, when I measured it last. But yeah, she's amazing. She can withstand underwatering. She's been in the same pot forever. I actually need to repot her. That's on my list of things that I need to do. But just, yeah, so easy and so impactful, honestly. Like she's substantial. She is substantial, okay? We actually have the beginnings of a new leaf. They start off as just these little, like, just these little tiny things right here. You see that? That's gonna turn into a massive leaf, which is so hard to even fathom. But yeah, it's just so cool. And you get to watch the leaf expand and expand and expand until it's this massive belt thing right here. So yeah, love her so much. If you are wanting a strappy Anthurium, this one is by far my favorite. I think I'm gonna grab out some of these ones to show you a little bit closer as well. This is my favorite little section of this shelf. I think that with the taller plants in the back and the different colors and textures and everything, it just, I don't know, it just goes together really, really well. I love it. I'm thinking that I need more warm toned plants because yes, I love my silver foliage so much, but I find that the warm tone just, it looks amazing. And I feel like I need more of that kind of interspersed in my collection. So I guess I might as well grab that one first, the one that I'm talking about. This is my begonia autumn ember. Now we haven't really gotten, I mean, I showed you the begonias that I have in that little greenhouse, but as for the rest of my begonias, we haven't really reached them yet because most of them are in the bedroom, which I'll probably show you last. But this is one that lives out here, and it is a very, very pretty one. It's very red and orange and very fall-esque. I mean, it's called autumn ember, so yeah, it's very, the name suits it really well. It grows so much. Like, look at all the stems in here. This pot is just chock full of leaves. It is just crazy. Super lush. I need to go through and get some of these crispy ones off, but yeah, really undemanding begonia as well. It's grown just like crazy for me, and all I do is just water it when it gets dry, and it just sits in the back of this shelf and looks absolutely gorgeous. Then we have my Ripsalis Paradoxa Major. This is the other one that I was talking about, the kind of like chunkier version of the other Ripsalis Paradoxa that I have. This one is, I mean, it's like fuller, but not as long as the other one, but I love it so much. I can't wait for this to grow even more and fill out even more. I think I'm gonna repot this this spring because it's been in this little pot for quite a while and it's probably just time. It's really easygoing and I just love the like chain link kind of look of it. It's also really fun to watch the new growth come in. This is a new growth down here. It starts as just like a tiny little nubbin. Do I have an example? Yeah. Oh, there's a couple with it. Okay, so there's like tiny baby new growth starting there. and then it slowly expands. So this one is like half expanded, and then it's gonna get thick like this and just blend in. So it's so cool the way it grows, and I think that it just looks so pretty. I love it kind of draping over the end of my shelf here. Beside that, we have a Libicea pumila electric pink, I believe it's called. And I think that these are more commonly grown inside terrariums, but I've just been growing this one out on the shelf in just regular room humidity, and it's been doing great for me. I have a new leaf right here, and then there's also, maybe it's getting a little bit too much light. It looks a little bleached, but I have a new leaf right here, and a new one is emerging. If anyone has one, let me know. Should I put this in more dark, or should I put it in my greenhouse? Maybe it doesn't like being out on the shelf, but it seems to be doing fine and it's growing. So I'm just like, okay. But it does look a little bit bleached, so maybe I'll move it, but it's a cutie. There's some Adansonii propagations in here as well. I'm not gonna take those down. We have my Alocasia Black Velvet here in this little self-watering pot. This really needs to be repotted. I have just ordered the next, or not the next size, but a different size of self-watering pot that I need to repot this plant. So I'm just waiting for that to get here. I think it's actually coming tomorrow, today or tomorrow it's coming. So I'll be able to repot that once it gets here. And it's currently putting out a flower, which is kind of annoying, but that's just what alocasia do sometimes. The leaves still look really healthy, so I am just patiently waiting for the next leaf. I'll probably cut the flower off because I just don't care about that. And then inside this little cover pot, I'll take this out. This is a little combo pot. I haven't separated these things out, but this came from my friend Natasha. And first of all, we have this beautiful, beautiful Jose Bono cutting. I am obsessed with this leaf. It is so, so perfect. Oh my goodness, the mintiness, the half moon. I love it so much. I really wanted a Jose Bono, and she was so generous to gift this to me. So I'm so excited to watch this put out some growth. It's rooted in here. Like, it has a big root. It's so satisfying actually to look at its root. Like, look at that. Oh my goodness. This is a philodendron with really satisfying looking roots. Some of them are like really dainty and piddly looking, but this one is substantial. So I love that. And then we also have a couple of Hoya in here, some really cool Hoya actually. First of all, we have a silver Matilde, and look at how these are new leaves right there, if I can get it to focus. So those are still like hardening off and expanding. But there's also these older, oh my gosh, I don't even want to touch it because I don't want to hurt these new leaves. But if you can see in there, look at those leaves. Like, they're so silver and gorgeous. Oh man, I am so excited to be growing this one. The genetics on this cutting just look so, so good. Super silver. I'm definitely going to be keeping this in high light. Maybe I'll even get a flower one day. That would be very fun. And then we also have another Hoya in here. This is Hoya maniparensis. It's a really unique looking one, also called the butterfly Hoya, I believe. Oh, coffee maker is doing its thing. Let's give it a minute. Okay, sorry. Yes, this is Hoya maniparensis, and it obviously has a really unique shape, but it also has a really unique veiningness or texture where it looks like a staghorn fern. At least that's what it reminds me of. This lighting is not there. That's a little bit better to see these guys. Yeah, so really, really cool one. These can all be, you know, potted up out of here now. There's Hoya roots all around here too, as well as the Jose Bono roots. So I will be separating them soon. They've just been doing well in here, so I've just kind of left them. But yeah, what a cute little combo pot. Okay, and then I'll take you down here to the next little section where we have two plants. The first one is my Aglaonema Silver Bay. It's looking great, putting out a new leaf. It's just kind of unfurling. I recently repotted this one, so I think she's really happy because she's pretty cramped in her last pot. So yeah, she's looking just gorgeous. Really commonly available plant, but just so, so pretty. And then next to that, we have my dragon scale. This is a large and in charge kind of plant. Unfortunately, it has mealies right now. This is a whole kind of mealy shelf, unfortunately. I'm working on treating it, but yeah, she doesn't seem to mind, even though she does have mealies. She's recently put out this gorgeous leaf, and it's so big. Yeah, I am just obsessed with this plant. I've had her for years and years. Back in the day when these were expensive, that's how long ago I got this. I paid like an absurd amount of money for this, like $180 or something. But it was well worth it because I have enjoyed it over the years, so it's fine, no regrets. But now you can get these for like $5. And then down below them, we have just some kind of, well, this was a little propagation area, but then the mealies happened. So I ended up potting up some plants, but I didn't really want to move them until I knew that the mealies were gone because I don't want to be moving mealies all over the place. So we have a couple of reverted variegated micans. This was the variegated leaf, and then I just didn't ever get another one, unfortunately, which is so sad. I really want a variegated mican, so hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on another one day. But I cut it all up in an attempt to get more variegation. It gave me this weird leaf, so I don't know if that's like, I don't know, but I potted up all the cuttings and I'm just kind of waiting for growth from those to see if just like by some small chance I could get some variegation again, but I don't have my hopes up very high. Cutting of my Hoya Thomsonii, we'll see the mother plant in a minute. This is my variegated vanilla orchid, and I really need to get this potted up. This is a plant that I really, really like. It gives me just like cute, dainty, fairy vibes. It's so pretty, and I ended up, why did I even cut this up? I think I was having a pest issue, and this was also just like growing over the top of its little stake thing it was on. So I ended up just taking some cuttings and rooting them, and it's well rooted in here. So now I just need to find the time to pot this up and probably get it on a trellis, like maybe an acrylic trellis would look really pretty with this plant. So that's probably going to be my next plan of action. And then over here we have my Hoya latifolia Snow Queen, or at least that's what I bought it as, but the leaves just never want to size up for me. So I'm like, is that what this plant is? I mean, I'm sure it is, and mine's just like juvenile, but hopefully I'm gonna be able to get this more established soon and get some nice new growth on this. This was a full plant, and then what happened to it? It's hard. Oh, I think it rotted. It's hard to remember sometimes what like the story was with all of these plants. I think that this rotted. I ended up rooting all of the cuttings in perlite, and then I just recently, like within the past couple of weeks, potted up the cuttings. So now it's just getting reestablished in here. But it's doing well so far. Yeah, it's really freshly potted, so I don't even see any roots, but we do have a new leaf right there that's coming in. My camera doesn't want to focus. Right there. But yeah, I hope that this is actually latifolia and starts getting some big leaves. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a latifolia, was it ever small and then it eventually grew large? Do tell. Okay, and then up here is my little Anthurium area with my Rousseau grow light on them. And they're actually doing pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with this section right now because, like I said, I tend to struggle with Anthurium. So right here, we have this big gal. This is my Anthurium Magnificum luxurians hybrid. And yeah, she's gorgeous. She's stunning. She's a really good grower for me. I actually haven't gotten a new leaf in a while. She has this inflow, which I tried to pollinate it, but I don't know if it worked or not. It's just been chilling like this for, feels like a couple of months now. So I don't know if that means it took since it hasn't died off yet. I don't really know. I don't know much about Anthurium, but that's just hanging out on there. And she's been really hesitant to give me a new leaf, maybe because that inflow's on there. I don't know. But we have like, it looks like she wants to try to give me a new leaf with that chunky looking caterpillar there. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with her. It is a really pretty Anthurium besides the crisping from when I underwatered it, but I'm getting better. Like I'm so much better than I used to be with these Anthuriums, so yeah. Oh, and I got these, so I have two luxuriant hybrids on either side, and I got those as like the tiniest little seedling, like basically just a seed with a little leaf. So it's kind of crazy just how much they've grown in the past. How long have I even had them? I don't even think I've had them for 2 years. I don't even think it's been 2 years. So yeah, it's just crazy to see them big now. And then I also have my Anthurium bakeri here, which is another strappy kind of Anthurium. This is a semi-pendant Anthurium, so it doesn't completely grow downwards like the Pallidiflorum and the Viridifolium like to, but it does have like a similar kind of vibe. This is such a tough Anthurium, like it is so easygoing. You can pretty much do anything to this and it will be fine. It is crazy. She has also birthed. These self-pollinate, which is so cool. So I call this the lazy girl Anthurium because it gave me a whole bunch of babies and I did not have to do a single thing. It pollinated itself and then it pushed out all of these super healthy berries. And now I have a million babies down here from her, which need to be potted up. I'm experimenting with taking the dome lid off and they're actually doing pretty well. It's such a tough plant, so I'm not really concerned about these. I think they're gonna be fine and I have like 200 of them. So I am just kind of like experimenting. But yeah, those are her offspring. In the middle here, we have one that looks pretty beat up and that is my, I think it's a crystal mag. I always forget whether it's just a magnificum or if it's a crystal. No, it's a crystal mag. It has to be a crystal mag. Yeah, she's a big girl, but she's looking rough. She is giving me a new leaf though, right here. I think it's getting too much light. Maybe it's trying to hide from the light. I don't know. Also has an inflow up there. These all have inflows. It's crazy. But that's the new leaf coming in. And then next to her, we have this is probably my favorite out of all of these ones up here. It is my Crystal Mag Luxuriance Hybrid, Crystallinum and Magnificum, and then crossed with Luxuriance. And I love it so much because it has a similar texture to the Magnificum Luxuriance, but it has better colors in my opinion. Like it has the red petioles and it just has more of like a red tinge to it, like a red, what is that even called? Leaf margin, and like around the sinus here. And the emergence come in better colors, like it's very oil slicky. I don't know if it will pick up on camera and I don't want to touch it too much, but it's just, if I had to pick between the two Luxuriance hybrids, I would definitely go Crystal Mag Luxuriance. It is just stunning. So I've really been enjoying watching this new leaf come in, especially since I've been keeping up with watering. So it's actually looking good. Like that is shocking. Also has an inflow here. And then in the middle, we have my Anthurium moodianum, which I recently took out of the cabinet and moved here. So it's kind of just been like transitioning to being in regular room humidity, but it's doing okay. It seems to be a really hardy Anthurium as well. Like it's constantly growing. I haven't had a new leaf in a while since I moved it out of the cabinet, but I think it's almost gonna be putting one out soon. So yeah, she's just kind of hanging out. I do really like her. The dark foliage is just so stunning. So I'm excited for when she starts growing for me again. And then here, this girl's looking a little worse for wear also. This is my Anthurium Minahasa, which I think is a type of crystallinum. I also got this from Cartel Dawn. And it's really stunning, but unfortunately mine was really underwatered. So the older leaves are quite yellow. And then I overwatered it. Ironically, yeah, it was overwatered, but it's fine. The roots are healthy, so it's just kind of, yeah, it's fine. We do have this new leaf coming in. The color is incredible, so pretty, so hopefully that's gonna be looking nice for us. I also randomly picked up this pot the other day from Home Depot, and it fits this cover pot perfectly, so I kind of want to go back. I think there's two other colors, like a beige and a gray, and I don't typically, which are kind of boring colors, but I just like the size of them so much and the fact that they fit some of my nursery pots perfectly. So I might be going back to pick these up because it's pretty nice just for like, you know, a $10 pot from Home Depot. Okay, so that's it for my little Anthurium section here. Oh, maybe I should have turned the light off to show them. Okay, here's a look at them without the light like blasting them. So you can see what they all look like. This one, I'm just obsessed. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah. Really pretty. Pretty gals. Okay, and then down here, this is a little bit of a hot mess, a little bit chaotic, also mealy central, so these are all under treatment for mealybugs and also flat mites. We'll get to that a little bit more later, but oh, and spider mites. This one is under treatment for spider mites. That's my silver sword philodendron, which I'm currently propagating to start over. This is one of my favorite philodendron, but yeah, it just needs to be started over so that I can get it on a nice moss pole and really get it going. This right here is my Hoya UT001 Sumatra, which we recently repotted in my last Hoya repot video. It's doing really well in its new pot, growing along vine out that way. I love the long, dark, splashy leaves. It's so, so gorgeous. Can't wait for it to put out some new growth for me now that it's actually in potting mix, because it was just in sphagnum for a long time before that. This is a really different kind of Hoya. This is my Hoya stenophila, and it was also recently repotted. I love this cutie little pot situation that it's in with the drippies and just like a cute wispy little Hoya in it. It's so adorable. So yeah, that one's just kind of getting established in that pot. These two were my worst mealy victims, so they're just kind of hanging out together. This is my Hoya mini bell and outer variegated compacta. I think that I'm getting on top of the mealies, like they're looking better, but yeah, I've been spraying them down and stuff and taking the mealies off, so they have better days to come ahead. My variegated compacta is one that I've had for years that I've been trying to grow out. I really want a variegated compacta because it's one of my top favorite Hoya. I have a big green one. And the variegated versions just don't seem to grow for me. Don't know why. If I ever came across a bare one day, I would probably buy it because I love them, but that one's just giving me nothing but grief. And then my Hoya mini bell, I don't even think I'm gonna touch it. But look at its cutie peduncle. Like, okay, girl, she blooming. She got mealies, but she blooming. Yeah, just a cute little small leafed Hoya. The new leaves do come in this pretty dark color. So yeah, she's really cute. Next, we have my Hoya obovata. This was an inner variegated, but it didn't really give me many inner variegated leaves. It really hasn't done much for me at all, to be quite honest with you. It is starting to try to give me some leaves. I don't know. I feel like I need to maybe repot. I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in semi-hydro. Should I? Not really sure what to do to get this growing. Maybe I'll cut it up, actually. That might be my best move. But yeah, I really would love to have a nice healthy version of this plant, but it has just struggled in my care. Next, we have this stunning girl right here. This is my Hoya Crimson Princess. So the inner variegation, and wow, it is so, so pink. Like the color on this thing is just crazy. It blows my mind that this is such just like a cheap big box store Hoya, but it is so, so stunning. Like, yeah, this is one of the prettiest Hoya. Mine is just still pretty small, as you can see, but I would love to grow this into a big plant one day and get it to blooming size. Maybe it will bloom better for me than my Crimson Queen. I guess we'll find out. One of my friends actually has a hanging basket of Crimson Princess, and it's blooming for her right now, and it's always blooming for her. And I'm like, girl, how? She's not even like really a plant person. I'm like, how the heck are you doing that? Like, she's just constantly blooming in her north-facing window. It's so crazy. So yeah, I would love to see this one get bigger and bloom for me one day. It's just so pretty. That is another Philodendron gigas. This is just extra cuttings that I had that I decided to throw into this pot because it's too pretty to compost. And then we have another variegated compacta right here. This is the inner variegated, also called Mauna Loa. And honestly, I thought that this is gonna grow so much easier for me than the outer variegated, but it has been same story, just doesn't grow for me. It did shoot out a whole new vine and that grew like crazy, but it was all reverted, like it was just green. So I cut that off and I'm just trying to get some new growth of the actual variegated part, but no luck so far. And I'm also treating this for mealies and flat mites. Down here we have my other Stapelia that I was telling you about. This one is called Stapelia grandiflora, I believe. And I've had this for a few years now. It's been a really good grower for me, and it actually blooms pretty much all year. I just removed a dried off bloom from it, but it puts out these crazy like hairy starfish looking blooms, and it is just so cool. They're like a dark purple, and yeah, I love it. It is just such a neat plant. So I'm really excited to get this back outside again for the growing season because I feel like it's gonna bloom like crazy. I also really like the foliage on these. It's kind of fuzzy. It's soft and fuzzy and just like a really cool looking succulent. Like, yeah, it's really neat. I really like it. And then we are moving up here, and this is kind of flat mite zone. I first realized that I had flat mites because my Hoya Wilbur Graves here was giving really funky growth and it just wasn't happy. So I checked it with the microscope and yes, it was infested. So was my Hoya compacta, unfortunately. So I've just kind of assumed that, oh, and this one, my Syngonium, it's just been, I mean, we'll get to all of these, but yeah, basically I'm treating this whole middle shelf for flat mites, and I've also sprayed some of the top ones just to be sure. And then I also have a whole bunch of my new Hoyas on here that I'm hoping aren't gonna get flat mites. I might just have to treat them like just as a preventative, because I really don't have anywhere else to put them. So yeah, join the party. Welcome to the flat mite zone. This back here is a sad Monstera siltepecana. I really love Monstera siltepecana, but for some reason it just does not love me. Like no matter what I do, it just does not grow nicely, and I don't know why. I would kind of love to get the El Salvador version, the like bigger leafed one, but since I can't even grow this one, I don't think I will be doing that. I hope I can figure this one out though, because I would love to have it just trailing down. I love the silver foliage. It's so cute. This is the base of my ring of fire that I cut up. I really liked the variegation at the base, so I just left it to see if I can get some new growth happening. Next we have my Hoya Hollyana. This is like an outer variegated, kind of funky, kind of like almost like curly leafed. It's very unique. I haven't seen it a lot, but looking at photos on Instagram, it looks like they can grow out to be very beautiful plants. So I'm really excited. That one hasn't grown for me yet, but I'm keeping my eye out for new growth on it. This back here is another Jose Bueno. Oh my gosh, it looks thirsty. I just checked the other day and it didn't need water, but now it looks thirsty. So I will be bringing this to the sink. But this is just a gorgeous, highly variegated Jose Bueno from Plant Haven, Toronto. So now I have two of them, which is so crazy because this was a really big wish list philodendron for me. So now I have that beautiful cutting I showed you earlier, and this one, which has like multiple growth points. So I just feel so lucky to have both of them. Also, look at the cutie pot. I love it so much. Unfortunately, that variegated leaf is not very happy, but the rest of the plant is doing really well. I love that leaf right there. Look at that. So minty. Anyways, I'm gonna give it a drink. I just cut that browning leaf off because it was on its way out anyways. We have new leaves coming in, which is fun. Okay, right here we have, this was a major wish list plant that I just got like, I don't know, a month ago now. Yeah, I have a lot of new plants on this shelf. It's like almost all new plants actually. But this is my incredible silver band Maranta. Sorry, I'm trying to find the best light. Oh my gosh, right here maybe. Oh, it is just so pretty. I cannot get over it. It's grown a ton. Like this thing is just growing like crazy. Look at the size of that leaf. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. I have to put her down. Look at this. Wow. She is on turbo mode. Holy smokes. There is some residue because I sprayed this with diatomaceous earth and then washed it off the other day. But you can see these new leaves that don't have anything, that have unfurled since I sprayed it. Look at them. Man, she has new leaves everywhere. She is just like doing the most. And look at the little flower. So cute. Yeah, I'm obsessed with her. I've wanted this plant for years and years, and then they finally hit Canada, and we Pot Plants had them stocked. So that's where I found this if you're in Canada and you're looking for one. But yeah, it is just so gorgeous. I am fully obsessed with it. Next to that is my cutie little Peperomia Parallel, which is this little stripy gal, and I really like this one. I think that it's so fun. This is one of my 3 Peperomia, I guess the last one of the 3. We've seen the other 2 already. And I have it trellis, which is really cute, but I kind of want to try growing this trailing. I don't know, I might switch it to trailing, we'll see. But I really love the bright pink or like red petioles. I just think that that is so stunning. And yeah, it's a really good grower. Always putting out new leaves for me, and just kind of a like fun, cutie little plant. I really enjoy growing this one, and I have my little spicy pepper on here. So cute. Next, we have a whole lineup of some of my new Hoyas from Plant in Toronto. I'm not going to talk about them a whole lot because they're very new to me, and I did a whole unboxing video on these that you can go watch if you want to kind of see more information, and I like talk about the blooms and stuff. But first of all, we have my just green Hoya Bella. Stunning. Next, I don't even know the names of some of these yet. This is, okay, Hoya erythrostemma Shocking Pink. A lot of these I chose for the blooms, which I talk more about in that haul video. So some of them have kind of plain foliage, but it's because I want the blooms. This is Hoya insularis, very unique one. I guess I don't really have to move them, do I? This is another Hoya crassipedialata splash that I'm gonna pot up with my other one in my Millsville wide cabinet. This one I'm really excited about. Oh my gosh, it's giving me a new leaf. Oh! We have a new leaf starting. Oh, that's so exciting. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, it doesn't want to focus, but there's some coming in there. This is Hoya caudata silver, and I was talking about my other Hoya caudata, which doesn't want to bloom for me. So now I have the silver version, which I'm hoping will want to bloom for me one day. But even if not, like the foliage is just so, so gorgeous. I love the like undulated edges. Just so, so pretty. Next is Hoya UT033, I think. And this is another one I bought for the blooms, but I really do like the foliage on it. Like, here I am picking them up again. But it has a really nice sheen to it and nice veining. And we have a new little leaf on the way. So that is really exciting. This is my Hoya David Cumingiana? Gosh, I don't even know. Cumingia. Another one that I bought for the blooming potential. It's kind of long, but it's wrapped up right now in a little loop because I didn't want this dangling down into the flat mite zone too much, but it's doing really well. Has some new growth coming in. And then we have my Hoya Boitii right here, another one that I chose for the blooms. It's growing like crazy, like putting out new leaves like nobody's business here. So I need to get this on a trellis real quick. Look, there's another vine right here. Yeah, really cool one. And then this is my Hoya Hanii Pink. Is it? Yeah, Hoya Hanii Pink. Another one that I bought for the blooms. And again, just has that kind of veiny foliage. I do like the leaves. It is really pretty. Okay, so yes, down here on this shelf, like I said, a lot of these are kind of in recovery from flat mites. At the back, we have my Syngonium Milk Confetti. I'm gonna try not to touch these plants as much as possible, but we have my Syngonium Milk Confetti. And the main sign of flat mites on this plant was that the leaves weren't unfurling. It would put out a new leaf and they just stayed furled. So it has like a few leaves that are just still furled. So yeah, not great, but I think that it's in recovery. I can see some new growth starting to emerge from down there. So hopefully I'll be getting some healthy leaves on that one soon. And then my beautiful green Hoya compacta. She is massive. I've had her for 4 or 5 years now, like between 4 and 5 years. I got it as a one vine, like small vine, little 4-inch pot from the big box store. And I've grown it out to be this big plant. So it's one that's really special to me. And I was so bummed to discover that it had flat mites. It ended up balding, like it lost a bunch of leaves from that vine right there. I might chop and prop that and then add it back in. I'm not really sure, I'm undecided. Right now I'm just kind of focused on getting rid of the flat mites, but I've treated it 3 times now. So it's definitely getting a lot better. And I see that we do have some new growth coming in right there. So that's really good to see. I Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I would be so devastated if something happened to this plant. And then, like I said, my Wilbur Graves here was the first one that I realized had the flat mites. That's what brought this all to light. And same thing, I've treated it a few times now, and it seems to be doing a lot better. We have new growth coming in a few different places, and it's looking pretty good. So yeah. New leaves coming in down here as well. I love this plant. This is one of my favorite Hoyas. This one has really good genetics. It is just, it's so silver. Like some of the leaves are almost entirely silver. It's just really, really beautiful. So I'm really glad that I was able to figure out what was wrong with it. There were so many flat mites on this. It was disturbing, but I'm glad that I found that and was able to treat it. And then back here, this big leaved one is my Hoya Pricktae, which hasn't really grown a ton for me. I did recently repot it and chop it, give it a trellis, the whole 9 yards, so that the cutting is propagating in the living room. But yeah, as you can see, it has massive leaves, which is really cool. This actually has bloomed for me. It had kind of like a light pink, beigey, creamy looking bloom. It was actually pretty cute. I was kind of surprised by it. But yeah, one that I'm really excited to hopefully get some more growth on and to get to bloom again eventually, because it's just so neat just how large the foliage is. Really, really like that one. And then in the front here, we just have another Hoya linearis. That was just some cuttings from my main one. And then beside that, we have one of my other favorite Hoyas, which is Hoya thomsonii. Now, the reason that I was first attracted to this Hoya is because it has fuzzy foliage, which is, again, just something that I love in plants. I love when they're soft and fuzzy. It is just so, so cool. I don't know how much the camera... There, you can see some of the fuzzies on there. Yeah, I love it. I need to pot those other cuttings that I showed earlier up into this. This actually is giving me some peduncles, which is cool. There's a couple on here. I'm hoping that it will bloom for me because I really want to know if this is the pink or the white bloom version. If it's white, then I'm going to keep my eye out to get the pink one because I really want the pink one. Oh my gosh, that one looks like it actually, something might happen with it. Oh, I'll be so excited if this blooms. I'm also considering getting this on a trellis. I wanted to grow it trailing, but now I'm kind of like, I kind of want to put it on a trellis. So I think that that might be my plan. I might do like a repot and then trellis and add the cuttings back in situation, just the whole kind of glow up thing for this one. So I might do that soon, but yeah, I really, really love it. And I'm hoping to get some blooms. Again, say that for every Hoya. Back here we have a philodendron Camposportuanum. These were severely neglected cuttings that I had hanging around. They were in water for like, honestly, almost a year, and they were just looking so scraggly, and I was actually considering just tossing it. But then I remembered when I was growing this plant out and how much I liked it. It's such a unique shaped philodendron, and it's so, so pretty when it's nice and healthy. So I figured I would pot them up, see what happens. The roots are actually healthy. Like there's lots of roots in this pot, but I have yet to get new leaf growth. I've recently moved it onto this shelf to be under the grow light, so I'm hoping that that's going to help kind of kickstart some growth because I would like to have this philodendron back in my collection. Like I said, it's just a really unique one with the like kind of fish-shaped leaves. And then in front of that, we have my Syngonium erythrophyllum, also known as Syngonium black or Syngonium red arrow. It has a bunch of different names, but it has this really dark foliage on the front. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose my voice now. Has really dark foliage on the front and then red on the back. It's like a really striking red too. Like this is a really, really pretty Syngonium. This I kind of ended up neglecting, so I recently chopped it all up. I have a whole bunch of cuttings in a prop box. This is notoriously difficult to propagate. I've done it before, but with a low success rate, so I'm hoping that at least a few of them will root up for me. I probably have like 20 cuttings in there, so we'll see, and then I'll end up potting those back together and hopefully create a little bushy pot of this because it is really pretty, and I do love my dark foliage. Okay, and then down here, this is the bottom shelf. I have some of my larger plants here. So in the back, we have my Aglaonema Manila's Pride, which is a variegated Aglaonema comitatum. And I love this plant so much, but I noticed that it has also been like the leaves won't unfurl properly, and it just hasn't really been growing much. So I'm thinking that this probably had flat mites too, honestly. So I'm treating it for flat mites as well. Like I said, I'm just treating a lot of plants right now. So I'm hoping that she'll start growing nicely for me again, because I really do just love this plant. And I think it's like honestly one of the most beautiful variegated plants, because you have the silver mixed in with the creamy variegation. It's just so, so stunning. So yeah, hopefully she starts doing a little bit better sometime soon. In the front here, we have my Philodendron Burrow Marks variegata. This is one of them. I actually have a couple kind of like propagation vessels of this plant, but it's so, so pretty. I really need to pot this up soon. I'm gonna get it on a pole. Yeah, I love this variegated philodendron. It just tends to revert on me. So this one was actually an import, but then I have, where's my other one? It's in the back here. This was one that I already had that I cut up, and I saved all of the like nicely variegated cuttings so that I could repot them all together in an attempt to not have this plant just revert on me. And so far, all the leaves that it's giving me are beautifully variegated. So I'm really excited to get this plant going again. It really is a pretty one, and I love the like Hoya variegation on it. This is another bundle of Syngonium albo cuttings that need to be potted back into the mother plant. This big gal right here is my Alocasia cuprea. Maybe I should turn off. It's kind of hard to see. Is that better? Maybe. That's my Alocasia cuprea, which is just like a super crazy alien looking alocasia, especially when it puts out a new leaf. Once they're hardened off, they're not really as shiny, but when the leaves are fresh, they look like wet. They're so, so incredibly shiny. So it's a really rewarding alocasia to grow in that sense. Even though this one isn't fresh though, it's still beautiful and it's huge. Like, it's a really, really big leaf. So I'm excited for the next leaf that it's gonna give me. Hasn't really grown in a while, maybe just because it was over winter. So hopefully it's gonna start picking up in growth again. Down here we have a couple cups of Ring of Fire props. My Ring of Fire really isn't that, it's not that nice. Like, it's not very highly variegated or anything. I'm still gonna pot these up and see what growth I can get from it. But yeah, those are just kind of rooting for me down there. And then in the back here, we have one of my favorite alocasia, and that is my Maharani. So this is a hybrid of Black Velvet and the Mellow that I showed you earlier. And this is the newest leaf that it's given me. I am fully obsessed with it. It is just so flawless. It's definitely the nicest and the biggest leaf that I've gotten on this alocasia. I cannot stop just looking at it. It's so nice and just like puffy, and yeah, it's perfect. Love the texture, love the color. I find that the Maharani looks quite similar to the Mellow, but one of the differences is that the Maharani has lighter veins. So you can see better on this one. See how it has these lighter veins? The Mellow doesn't have that. And the Maharani also has the like purpley backs, because it gets that from the Alocasia Black Velvet. Yeah, really, really pretty one. And then just some more cuttings that are hanging out, rooting there. Speaking of those cuttings, I almost forgot to show you one of my all-time favorite begonias. It is my begonia Thurstonii. She is massive, like she's like 4 feet tall. This is a super easygoing, super fast-growing begonia. I recently moved this from, it was in the bedroom, and I moved it out to here because it just, I don't know, it just wasn't really happy in the spot that it was in. Where this actually did the best was living outside in the summertime, but I don't know if I'm gonna put it out again this year. I really don't know. Maybe I should just make an exception for this one because it just loved life so much. But yeah, it's such a gorgeous begonia. It has really shiny, especially on the newer leaves, they're really shiny and dark and just so, so pretty. It's definitely one of my favorites. I would love for this to flower for me one day. It's never flowered before. I don't even know what the flowers look like on this one. But yeah, it's just a really pretty begonia, and it really just, and it takes up this spot super nicely. It hasn't been there for very long, only a couple of weeks, but I'm hoping that it's gonna be happy there and get enough light and everything. I also recently trimmed her back. That's what those propagations were from. But we do have a ton of new leaves that are coming in. Anyways, she is stunning. She is gorgeous. She's actually not looking her best right now. Like, she's definitely been more in her prime, like closer to the summertime, but I think that she's gonna start bouncing back soon. And if she doesn't, I'm just gonna start from propagations and grow her out again because it grows so quickly. You can start this from cuttings, and within like one growing season, you'll have a big plant like this, I swear. Okay, we are now in the office, which is mostly my boyfriend's space now. I don't really come in here all that much, but I do have a few plants in here. These are actually his. Well, they came from his house when we moved, but I mostly take care of them now. So this is a Milky Way cast iron plant, which truly lives up to its name because this thing is so freaking hardy. I feel like it's always just like so dry, especially because it gets blasted by that baseboard heater. This is an east-facing window, but it's really blocked by all of these big trees. It does get sunlight, which is nice. It honestly doesn't seem to mind though. Like, you can do anything with this plant, put it anywhere, neglect it, and it will just continue to thrive. A few weeks ago, I did remove a bunch of yellow crispy leaves from it. It was definitely looking worse for wear then, but regardless, it's so easygoing and it looks so good. It's actually kind of growing on me now, honestly. Like, he was the one that really liked this and I didn't really care for it, but I'm kind of liking it. Like, it's kind of cute and I just appreciate how easygoing it is. I think that I'm going to be repotting that this spring. It's just due. Same with this Raven ZZ here. This was also his. I do really like the Raven ZZ because obviously I like the dark leaves and I enjoy how, oh my gosh, I enjoy how the new growth comes in so like lime green. This is even like a bit darker, but it comes in a really bright lime green and then it fades down to the black. I had a small cutting that just would not, it stayed one stalk for like 4 years. So I recently got rid of that and I've given up and I'm just moving on to caring for this plant as if it is my own child. And yeah, it's doing really well. It suffers the same neglect as the cast iron, but it honestly doesn't seem to mind. So that's very nice. I think I'm going to repot this one as well this spring. Maybe I'll do a video and I'll do both of these guys. But yeah, I would like to put more effort into this one to get it looking really nice because it does deserve it and I do really like it. But yeah, those two just kind of take up that nice window right there. And then up here, this is a north-facing window, and this is my philodendron painted lady. She is up there because I just did not know what in the world to do with her. Like, I could not find a suitable spot for her, and she just kind of fits in that little window square perfectly. Like, it's kind of cute. So yeah, she just hangs out there and looks pretty, continues to grow, really doesn't complain. She has a similar like mottled yellowy kind of variegation to the orange marmalade. It's hard to show and I'm like trying to reach across this desk and everything. But yeah, really easygoing philodendron. I used to have her growing up a pole once upon a time, but now she's just growing crazy. Okay, everyone's just coming through here right now. And then in this other, so this is like a 3 little square window, I guess. There's nothing in the middle, but on this side we have my black pagoda lipstick plant, which also had to be moved here because I just didn't have a spot for it. It was on my Visto shelf and then it was just outgrowing that space and I didn't really have anywhere else to put it. So I ended up putting her on here, but as you can see, she has a ton of blooms. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to put her to show you. This plant is really cool because she gives me yellow blooms, which not all of the black pagodas do. Some of them just give green blooms apparently, but mine gives these beautiful yellow and red blooms and they are just so stunning. I'm actually obsessed and she always puts so many out, like so many. And she lives in a north-facing window, you guys. She still grows like crazy and like puts out a million blooms. She started going off like this after I put her in the Molly's mix, so she definitely loves that stuff. But yeah, really pretty, and the foliage is pretty on this one as well. If you see that, it kind of has like a pattern to it, and then the back is purple. So it's just a really gorgeous plant overall. Lipstick plants are underrated, honestly. Like, the flowers are just so cutie. I love her. This room is kind of blah, but she does add like a nice pop of color. So it's actually kind of nice to have her in here. Look at how cute. Okay, y'all, we are almost done. Thank you for sticking with me. We are entering the last room and there's not that many, I mean, there's a handful of plants in here, but we'll get through it quickly and we'll wrap this all up. But we are now in the bedroom, which honestly is a bit of a hot mess. Yesterday I had the bed all made, it was all ready to go, and then we didn't end up getting around to filming in here. So the bed's not made today. Apologies, but I just cannot be bothered because I need to wrap this up and get editing and everything. But here it is. We've got, I actually really like the plant setup in here. So we obviously have my Wally Grow wall, which if you've been on my channel, you have definitely seen this before because it's one of my favorite planty areas and setups. I love these trailing plants so much. I just recently gave them a massive trim. So they used to be a lot longer, but you couldn't really sit here without getting like attacked by all of the vines. So I chopped them, and it keeps them nice and like bushy because they branch out, and yeah, it's good to chop them, so they appreciate the haircut. I'll start on this side, and I guess I'll start with this one. This is my Philodendron Chironie. She is on this mossify pole. She's actually growing way off of it, so I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with her. She's a really pretty like ribbed philodendron. Like when she's mature, she gets a really nice elongated leaf and is just so stunning. I just have not been able to grow her to get very big, unfortunately. But I think I just need to pot up some cuttings and get this girl on an actual moss pole, and then I'll see her size up. I really do want to, and she's really like, has a nice, she's not velvety, but she has a really nice like sheen to her and is almost kind of sparkly. So I really like the like finish of her leaves, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for her. And then going through my trailing plants, we have Philodendron Brazil, Philodendron Micans, Philodendron, just regular heartleaf Philodendron Hederaceum, my neon Philodendron or lemon lime, whatever you want to call it. That's probably my favorite one. I love it so much. It gets nice and pink too, because it's getting so much light. It just like, yeah, gets like sun stressed, and it's so pretty. And then I have a Syndapsis mixed pot here. So the majority of it is Syndapsis argyrius because that's like what this planter was. And then I started adding some different ones into it. So we also have Syndapsis tattoo, which is this vine coming down here. And then I recently potted into her, let's see if I can climb up there. So I recently added Syndapsis jade satin, Syndapsis exotica. I don't know if I can find one. There is exotica in here somewhere. There's also Syndapsis blue, which is that one. And then is there another one? I don't know. I can't see the top, but there's I think 4 different types in there right now. So I'm hoping that eventually those will all fill in and it will be like a nice just variety pot. I also, how I mentioned that I want to pot my variegated philodendron into one of these Wally grows, I think I'm going to add it into the green one and have just a pop of a variegated plant there. I also kind of want to add into one of these the Philodendron Rio. We'll see. There's just so many. I want to have them all in here because they do so well because of this bright Soltec light. They're just living their best life. Everything thrives. So I just want to add more varieties and see them all thrive. Anyways, that is my Wally Grow wall and I love it very much. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna sit down while we go through my little begonia area in the bedroom. I am losing steam. I've been filming this video for many hours. I don't know how the heck I'm gonna edit this down, but yeah, we're just gonna take a breather and go through some of these begonias here. So we have this like patio door kind of situation that goes out to our little deck area outside. So it's covered. So these plants don't get a ton of direct sun. Sometimes the sun comes in and they get a little bit, but most of the time it's just indirect light. This is still south facing, so it's like somewhat bright, but it's just not I don't know, it's covered, so it's not as bright as it could be. There's like 8 foot or like 10 feet of roof outside of this window. However, I've found this to be a pretty good spot lighting wise for some of my begonia. They definitely are happier here in the summertime because it's warmer. This room does get a little chilly in the winter, so some of them are not looking their best right now, but I think they're really going to start to bounce back soon. So let's just go through them. The first one is one of my absolute favorites here, and she is a beast. Oh, I wonder if I can get better lighting if I go. There we go. There we go. Okay, this gal right here is my Begonia Magdalene Madsen. I had a heck of a time repotting this recently. I sized up the pot. This is in pawn. It's now in my like DIY pawn, and I've had to jimmy a really weird stake situation here. I have these bamboo stakes, but I taped them around the outside of the pot because if I put them in, they would just, you know, rot. So yeah, I had a really interesting time trying to get this all figured out, but it's actually settled in really nicely now. I'm super happy with how it's looking. This lighting is still weird. There we go. Hello, girl. Hello. Mama's still working on this, baby. Come down then. I took away her stairs. Sorry, baby. Come down. You can do it. Anyways, Begonia Magdalene Madsen. She's a really beautiful, like fuzzy, kind of like velvety looking begonia. This is a Begonia listata hybrid, so it has some of the really unique characteristics of the listata but it's like an easy version. Like this can grow in like pretty much any conditions. It's just been like, it's a beast. Look at it. It's huge. It's massive. It flowered for me for months and months. It actually just finished flowering. It's too bad it's not in flower for me to show you, but it was in flower from the fall, maybe like the end of summer to like a month ago is when it finished flowering. So it was really beautiful when it was in flower. But yeah, it grows like crazy, and it's been just loving life in this semi-hydro setup. So I'm really keen to get more of my begonias into a self-watering pot because it just makes it so much easier, and they really seem to love it. So yeah, that's that gal. The rest of them are looking a little more sad than that one, but let's just imagine the glow ups that they're gonna have. Okay, this one is my Begonia Gray Feather. This is a really, really cool begonia. Mine is just not a great example of it because it's just, I don't know, it's had a bit of a rough winter. I mean, yeah, it's not looking great. But this just has a really beautiful leaf on it. It's kind of shiny. We have like a greeny silver kind of front of the leaf, and then a beautiful burgundy backside of the leaf. Really, really pretty, especially when it's healthy. So I can't wait until summer because I feel like that's just when these are all gonna bounce back. But yeah, I love this one, and she's been hanging on. Okay, a couple of these plants here aren't begonia, and this is one of them. This is my variegated Maranta. I've had this plant for years and years and years, and I just keep cutting it back and starting it over. So I did that somewhat, well, I gave it a really big haircut recently, but I'm kind of wanting to cut it back again. Anytime it starts getting crispy, this is what happens. This one is a plant that I really want to get into self-watering. Like, I think that this would just benefit so much. I might actually do that. Like, I might take cuttings of this and then just root them in water and then put them in pond, because this is one that I underwater and then it gets crispy and then I get disappointed with how it looks. Like this, it just gets these kind of crispy edges, but it's so hard to just be 100% on top of watering all the time. These kind of plants I struggle with because, like I said, I'm an underwaterer, and as soon as you miss one watering, it's kind of like downhill from there. But the new growth is looking really pretty on her. If she gets lots of light, the dark spots come in like almost red and like super distinct. So yeah, it's really, really pretty. I love the variegated Maranta. Gosh, it is so gorgeous. And the variegation comes in like all different types. You get some more like kind of sectoral variegation, but then you also get like really speckly variegation. Yeah, it is just so stunning. This is one that I really need to put more effort into growing because, like I said, I've had it for years. This was a plant that I was so excited to find when I did find it. I remember I just opened Facebook randomly and I saw that somebody was selling this for $20, and this is back when they were like really hard to find. You couldn't really come across them. So I was so excited, and I just happened to be the first person that saw that. Like, they had just posted it after I opened Facebook. So I was able to get my hands on this, and now I've had it for like over 4 years. It's just stayed with me and remained one of my favorites. So I need to give her some more love. Okay, next we have my Begonia Irene Nuss. And this is one that I need to chop up and propagate because she's not looking good. She's not looking good. She was looking really immaculate at a time. She only had a few leaves, but she was looking really immaculate. And then I repotted her and she just has not been, she has not been thriving over the winter. She's still kind of growing, but the new growth just doesn't look good. It's all like light and small, and she's supposed to have these really nice like big dark leaves. Like, oh, I love her healthy foliage. It is so pretty. So pretty. I really want this. I want a whole plant of this. So this is another one that I just really need to put some effort into. I think that I need to do like set aside a day for each like section in my house. Like one day I'll just do all of my like stuff that I need to do with these plants in the bedroom, and then another day I'll do like all the stuff I need to do with the plants in my Millsbow wide, and like I think that's just what I need to do. Just like set aside a chunk of time for each of these areas, because it just gets away from me otherwise. All right, so next we have my begonia Sinbad, which is a little cutie patootie, and she's actually been doing surprisingly well over the winter. This one can be a little bit, I mean, I don't know. I find it like fairly easygoing, but sometimes it can throw a tantrum on you, but she's been growing okay. I recently added in this trellis for when she starts like trailing a little bit more. I can pin her up, but she's really pretty. She gets very pink when she gets high light. So in the summer, she'll probably be turning a really nice pink color. She also puts out cutie little flowers. This is actually one of my favorites. It's such a pretty begonia. I really recommend it if you can get your hands on one. Mine's not a fantastic example. This is the thing, like I kind of feel like I want to do another plant tour after the growing season, because a lot of the plants are just going to look completely different then. So I might actually do 2 full plant tour videos this year. We'll see. But yeah, she's pretty nonetheless, and she's actually been doing quite well despite it being wintertime. Another one that hasn't been doing very well, unfortunately, and kind of surprisingly, because normally this is a pretty hardy one. It looks like such a hot mess. This is my begonia maculata, also called just the polka dot begonia, and she's stunning. Like, I love this begonia. Honestly, one of my all-time favorite plants, and a plant that I have been growing in my collection. Not this specific one, but in general, I've had a begonia maculata in my collection like since the beginning, so I'm really fond of them. However, this one just, yeah, I don't know. I honestly think it's the temperatures. Like, I think it just gets cold in this room, so some of the plants just have not been happy over the winter. But I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Because pretty much the rest of the house is full, and I don't want to just blast the heat in here all day for these plants. So I don't know. I don't really know what there is to do. I mean, I'm short on space. I have too many plants and too little space. But I'm just hoping that once spring and summer comes, they will bounce back. She is blooming. Probably death blooms, honestly, because she's just not happy. But actually some of the new leaves are looking good. Like, this is a new leaf, and look at that. Perfection. There's also a little baby one coming in, so we'll see what that ends up looking like. But I need to go through and just remove all of these dead leaves, and then that will just clean her up and get her looking a lot better. Maybe I'll do a begonia care day video. I don't know if anyone would be interested in that. I know there's not as many begonia people. I did the philodendron care day one. I know, because philodendron are so popular, and I thought that you guys would enjoy that, but I know not as many people are into begonia, so who knows if that's something y'all would watch. Let me know, because I do have quite a few begonia chores to be done. Next, we have another cutie. She was struggling a lot, but she's doing better now. This is my begonia lucerna. I got this as a cutting quite a while ago, like in the summertime, and it just really, well, actually it rooted up really well, and it was growing really well just like in water. But then I potted it up, and I think my mistake was just putting it in way too big of a pot. I think I didn't have smaller sizes or something. There was some reason that I put it in here, but it's a dense soil mix and it's too big of a pot, so I just think that that was just a recipe for disaster. So she didn't really do well. I cut her back, and she is now regrowing. So I don't know. She's been revived, and she's actually looking really good. Maybe it's just springtime working its magic, but she's a really pretty begonia, and she can get so big. I was really inspired to get this begonia because I saw it in a store window downtown Victoria one day, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need, like, whatever that begonia is, I need one. And it was a begonia lucerna. So yeah, I'm really excited to have one and to grow her out. Hopefully it gets really tall and big one day. We shall see. They also flower really cute as well. And y'all know I'm a flower girly, so that's another reason. Even if begonias didn't flower, I think I'd still really like them, but just the fact that they put out cute, dainty flowers as well just seals a deal for me and really has made me fall in love with these plants. Okay, y'all, I actually have a nice one to show you. This one is like, it is doing incredible. It's so beautiful. This is my begonia Fanny Moser. And okay, I really have to make sure that the lighting is gonna show her off, but oh my goodness. I don't know why this one is the one that is so happy down there, but she doesn't seem to mind the cooler temperatures at all. She has this really beautiful dark foliage, also polka dotted, as you can see. She's like a goth begonia. I call her my goth maculata, or honestly she looks more like my lucerna maybe. But yeah, she has this almost black foliage, and then the backs are this burgundy color. So everything this begonia has to offer is just perfection, stunning, and she's growing so well. I actually got this plant as just a little tiny baby. Like it looked nothing like this. It was so tiny. And I was just not expecting it to turn into this. Like, it's crazy. When I received it, I left it in its like tiny little nursery pot for way too long. So it was just kind of going downhill. So then I repotted it and obviously upsized the pot and gave it a fresh soil mix and everything. And immediately it just started loving life. And now it's exploded into this. So yeah, she is one of my favorite gals. I'm just so in love with her. Yeah, stunning, 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 stunning. And then the only other plant down here is just another Monstera albo, which is not looking good. It's just like the base of the mother plant that's kind of regrowing, so I'm not even gonna bother picking that one up. That's the Monstera albo that I was just talking about. Okay, and then we just have a few in this little corner here. I really love this corner. It's so cute. First of all, we have a Cebu Blue trailing down here. She is just kind of hanging out. I honestly neglect her a little bit, but she doesn't seem to majorly mind. So yeah, she just is in that hanging basket there. And then on this shelf here, this is a relatively new setup. I had this in a video within the past couple of months, putting this all together. And we have one of my all-time favorite plants, especially all-time favorite cactus here, and that is my monkey tail cactus. This beautiful, crazy looking, fuzzy cactus. It is just so bizarre, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it. This was living downstairs for the winter, and I recently brought it up since I got my Soltech light set up and everything, and I'm really hoping to get some nice growth on this year. A lot of people have nice, like, uniform, just beautiful trailing ones, and I just have this, like, crazy one. Mine looks like a creature of some type. It has all different, like, it's curling everywhere, all different sizes, and yeah, it's very crazy, but I love it. It's chaotic and it's fun, and I think that it looks really cool sitting on this shelf. Next to that, we have my Hoya polynera, just my green one, so I'll grab her down. I think that I'm actually going to move this plant soon because it's just too bright up there next to the Soltech light. Even though it's kind of off to the side, it's just, this plant really can't handle high light. It gets like bleached looking. This side is okay because it's not really getting any direct light from the Soltech light, but the other side is getting a little bit bleached looking. However, it is growing, so it's like, I don't know, it has a love-hate relationship with the light, I guess. But this is a really cute Hoya. I love the polynera. It's another one that I've had for years, and I actually almost lost this plant to thrips a few years ago. It was just down to like a couple of cuttings that I kept, and I've regrown it back from those, so really thankful to have it. I would love to get some blooms on it. I think that that would be so cool. For now, she's just gonna stay up there. She does look really cool in that spot. Like, I like the combo of these two, but I will probably move her eventually, like within the next month, whenever I can come up with a new spot for her. But yeah, she is a really pretty Hoya. And then in the corner here, looking big and beautiful, is my Philodendron gloriosum. I love the gloriosum so much. It is just stunning. It's a crawler. I don't really like crawling philodendrons, but this is one that I will always make an exception for and keep in my collection because I just love the gorgeous velvety heart-shaped leaves. It is just so, so stunning. I actually cut in between the nodes of mine, so it's a whole bunch of different plants in here now. So we have a ton of leaves and we're always getting like new leaves coming in and stuff, and it's truly just a joy to grow. I'm gonna need to figure out what I'm gonna do with it soon because a lot of it is like crawling out of the pot at this point, so I need to, oh my gosh, a new leaf, I didn't even notice that one. Oh, it just snuck out on me. This is what happens when you have so many plants in here because I just got a couple new leaves, but I didn't realize another one was working on one, so that's really cool. But yeah, she's so, so pretty. I've had her for a long time as well. I grew her from just a tiny little plant about this big, which is so, so crazy. And yeah, she's really tolerant. Something I really like about this philodendron is that it can tolerate low light conditions. It's getting pretty decent light now from the Soltec light, but for a lot of the time I've had it, I've just grown it in like pretty low light and it's done really well. So yeah, always recommend a Gloriosa. And then the last plant in this area is my asparagus fern, which is another one of my like prized grocery store plant purchases. It is just like, it's so whimsical. I've talked about this plant a lot on my channel. We repotted it pretty recently too, but I just love how like wispy and whimsical it is. It's so, so neat. Really different from anything else that I have in my collection. I love the texture. I love this whole little setup with the round pot and the little halo light. This kind of serves as like a bedside lamp. And yeah, it's just so, so cute. I'm such a big fan of this one. You can pick this up for like a few dollars. They grow like weeds. Just give them decent light and they will grow for you. And they're really cool because the fronds come in like this, and then they expand into all of the leaves, like this. So yeah, I love her. And it's actually, even though it's called asparagus fern, it's not a true fern. It's actually a variety of asparagus. So don't be intimidated by the name fern because I know like a lot of ferns can be hard to grow. I actually don't have any ferns in my collection, like actual ferns, which is kind of ironic, but close enough, right? Okay, we're almost done, you guys. We are almost done. This gal right here wrapping around this mirror is my Marble Queen Pothos that has been with me for 10 years now, which is so, so crazy. She was a massive plant. Like, I am talking massive, you guys, like leaves as big as my head back when I didn't even know anything about plants. Like, I did not know what the heck I was doing, but I was feeding her a Miracle Grow fertilizer and she was like on steroids. It was absolutely insane. I ended up cutting that plant up and got rid of a bunch of the cuttings and kept a small cutting for myself, and this is what's grown from that. I will always keep this plant in my collection in some capacity. Like I said, I'd love to get it climbing, so I have the cutting of it going in the living room. But I'd love to get it on a pole to see it size up. She's just so special to me since she was like my first plant and she's been with me for so long, like literally has moved with me to like a million different houses. And yeah, we've been through it, and she's survived back in the day when I didn't even know anything about plants. So yeah, very fun. She's very cute. Love her. Okay, we only have a couple in the bathroom, so don't worry. First of all, Scindapsus Jade Satin. Like I said, I put some cuttings into my Wally grow the other day, and I don't even know if I'm going to keep this mother plant. Might just give it away. I don't really think that I need to have it. I don't know. It's been banished to the bathroom, so I clearly don't care about it that much. And then we just have some little Micans, like propagations here, and Brazil propagations here. And then we actually have one final plant that wasn't included. It's in the living room, but it wasn't included yesterday because I just brought it up from the basement. It's been overwintering downstairs since the fall, and I decided to bring it up yesterday and water it again and try to get it back into like its growing phase, I guess. And that is my Opuntia cactus, variegated Opuntia. I've also had this thing for years. It's really, really cool. I decided to try overwintering it, so that's kind of experimental. But this has been a very tolerant plant for me. It looks, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It looks kind of crazy. It's still kind of wrinkly, so I don't know if the whole overwintering thing went well for this gal, but I gave it a try. Maybe I should chop it like there. I don't know. I'm always chopping. Like, I must have chopped something off of there, and I chopped something the other day off of it, because it just gets like weird growth that's like curling in, and I don't like it, so then I end up chopping it. Anyways, she's gonna go outside once it warms up a little bit. She's really beautiful. Love the variegation. Love, I don't know. I like her. She looks a little crazy. She's kind of floppy. That's why she has an acrylic stake in there. But yeah, she's been with me for years and I love her. So we're just learning as we go here. Okay, that's it, y'all. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. If you stuck with me to the end, I do have an outro clip that I'm gonna stick in here, but I'll say it to you twice. Thank you. You are a real one. If you watched until the end, I really freaking hope that you enjoyed. Like, I really truly do. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know that you watched to the end. Leave me a little emoji, whatever emoji you like. Okay, appreciate you guys. And here is me from yesterday doing the outro. Okay, y'all, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you stuck through to the end of this video. Oh my goodness, you are a real one, and I really appreciate that. If you have any questions or thoughts, leave a comment down below. I would love to chat with you. Also, don't forget to check out the description box for all of my favorite products. I try to link everything that I can and any related videos in the description box for all of my videos, so don't forget to check there if you're looking for any information. Thank you so much again to Skillshare for partnering with me on today's video. Don't forget, the first 500 people to use the link down below in the description box will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.